Hey, welcome back to the shop for another round of SNS. So we're going to have another two-parter this week, and that's going to be the two videos for this weekend is SNS part 1 and 2. And I think I've got a nice, interesting mix for you this week, like I always try to bring you. So in this part 1, we got a few different things going on right here. As far as what's going on in the shop right here, I've got some tooling that I picked up that come from an auction, and I'm going to give you a peek at that. We'll just take the handheld and go over there and take a quick look at it. And then I also got a couple videos from last weekend where I was with my family hanging out. I did some more smoked turkey, and then after that I went over to my aunt's house because we had our annual family Christmas party, and I wanted to try to get everybody on video there. So the whole family wasn't there. There was a lot of people missing, but there was still quite a bit there, and I got a few of them on video. So I enjoyed taking that little clip, and I'm going to throw that in there for you to enjoy. And then I got some machining content to share, and what we're going to have is at work, I took the Rohm drill chuck down there to use on the horizontal boring mill, and I decided to go ahead and do another run out check with it actually in the spindle of the boring mill instead of just showing what it's doing between centers. I actually want to put it in a machine spindle and check it for run out. So I got a little bit of video of that, and I'll talk you through what I think I'm seeing on there and that kind of stuff. So we got that, a little bit of drilling and tapping on a shaft, and then I got something really interesting. We got a new tool at the shop. It's a load cell that you can use to weigh parts, you know, on the crane. So you hook this thing up and pick your part up, and it'll tell you on a digital screen there what it weighs. So I get to use that for the very first time, and I took a video of it. I got a shaft and a gear down there, another big project that I just started, and you'll get to see that. So as I was telling people on my Facebook page, get your guesses ready because we got a nice big heavy shaft and gear to weigh. So get your guesses ready. So that'll be coming up in this episode. And then in part 2 of this week's SNS, I've got a shop project that I did, just something that I wanted to build around here for myself, and it's something that any of you guys that have a lathe and a mill, you can do yourself. It might be something that you'd be interested in building and have fun with it. So that'll be coming up after SNS part 1. Be on the lookout for that. So we're going to go ahead and check out this new tool score right here, and then we'll get to the rest of our footage. Hope you guys enjoy this week's SNS. Alright, so all this right here is this lot of tooling that I purchased from one of the guys that goes and sets up at our flea market. He's a regular seller, and you know, we know each other on the personal basis now. And he happened to go to this auction. I've got a flyer right here that came in. It was McKee Engineering over in Marianna, Florida. And it was funny, I actually had a couple guys email me about this, but I actually had this in the mail, and it was an old machine shop with a lot of stuff. There's even a Monarch lathe that looks just like mine right here in this corner. An old Monarch lathe. So anyway, this guy that goes to the flea market, he picks up on stuff like that, and he was able to make some nice scores over there, but he's a reseller. He doesn't buy it for himself. And he had a bunch of this machine shop tooling down there. And this was the stuff that I ended up with, but I know he's got some more, and after buying this, I figured that was enough for now, but he's got some boxes full of some of the hardware, such as these studs, and he had a bunch of like T-bolts, flange nuts, and things like that, but everything was mix and match. So I'm going to go through those other boxes next time I see him and pick out maybe some more hardware. So I got this nice set of reamers right here. These look like over and under reamers, just a little set that shop put together that made this little shop made holder there. So we got that, and a couple tool bits, Micro 100 brand. I like those. We got a nice tool bit right here, high speed steel, 3/8, and then we got this. This is carbon. These are all carbon blocks, just different shapes and sizes. I don't really have any of that around here, so I picked that up. And also this whole block of carbon right here too. I give them like $5 for that right there. Here's another Pretty interesting find. There's a Lufkin test indicator, a V32X, and I already sent Mark some pictures of this thing over MR Tool Repair, asking is that one that he could fix up. So he said to send it on because he always loves a good challenge. But that's a nice test indicator. It's made in Switzerland. So we'll send that over to Mark and get him to see if he can fix it up. It's missing the small dial there. It is missing that, and he was saying that if that pinion is broken, that he wouldn't be able to repair that because parts are unavailable for it. So we'll see. As far as the rest of it up here, I got this set of studs right here, and then this is a whole set of counterboring tools. They're all like this right here. These are used to counterbore holes for cap head bolts. He just had that whole box sitting there, so I just grabbed the whole box, which is typically what I try to do whenever I find his stuff. Oh, look at that. We found another tap wrench too. My buddy TJ actually picked this one up before I got there because he knew that I would like it, and he just sold it back to me. $5. Not bad. All right, and then the rest of it right here, we've got some metric drills, and not all these bins have tools in it, but some of them do. So we've got an assortment of metric drills. These are just metric bolts. I wasn't really interested in this, but he wanted me to take that with the lot. So whenever we made the deal, he said, look, just put that with it. He didn't want that there too. So we got that, metric bolts. And then up here, we've got a bunch of different reamers. And you can see that a lot of these are also like over and under. Like here's 7/16, you know, 1/1000ths under, 1/1000ths over, and you know, so on. Here's your 1/2 inch, 501, 499, and look, there's several of them in there. So some of those, there's multiples of them in there. 377, there's a box full of them there. And then of course we got some drills right here. Now this was pretty good also because a few of these have some new cutters in there. Most of those are all long drill bits. So that I believe that's it. I put everything right here together, and he gave me a good deal on it. I don't remember what I paid for all this stuff. We just kind of added it up. I bought it in like 3 different lots, and you know, but he made me some good deals on it. So I really appreciate that. So there we go. There was our flea market score of the weekend. Hey guys, a little update on the property here that I was going to tell you about. So right here, right behind where I'm standing, that's the, you know, we got the Durango sitting there. This slab, I'm getting ready to have a carport built right here, one of those metal carports. It's going to be, it should be here next week sometime. And the reason why I'm putting up the carport, get out of the sun, is to put the car under there, the Challenger. So it's going to sit right here. And the carport that I'm getting is a 12 by 21, I believe is the size. I'm pretty sure that's what it is, 12 by 21. And that slab actually is the perfect size for that carport. It's 12.5 foot wide, and I believe it's 22 foot long right there. So it should work out pretty good. And standard height on it is 6 foot, but I opted to go with a 7 foot. And what that'll do is, for one, whenever I'm walking through underneath it back here or whatever, I don't want to have to like bend down and hit my head on it. So I went with a 7 foot wall height, so it should bring the eaves down, you know, where it's just above my head. And it'll also, it'll be just above the roof line there of the shed. So my hopes is that they'll be able to mount it far enough back to where it'll just kind of overhang that a little bit. It's what my plan is, maybe to get it to overhang. So I'm gonna let them know whenever the crew gets here to install it. That's what I'd like to do. Just put it as far back as I can, and then if it does overlap it, then maybe I can build some kind of sheet metal flashing to kind of connect those two together, just for like rain and stuff coming in. But I actually ordered this thing the same week that I bought the car from a place here in town that reps for Carolina Carport, and I guess they're so backed up that they've got an 8-week delivery on these things. So kind of unbelievable, but it's good to hear some people are busy. So anyway, I'm excited to get that and get the car underneath here, and I'll show you guys some progress whenever it gets here and gets installed and show you what it looks like, okay? So I showed you a smoked turkey that I did a couple weeks back for Thanksgiving, and I took that over to the family, and they loved it, absolutely loved it. It turned out great. I got to say that it was good. I enjoyed eating on that thing too. So we have a yearly Christmas party for the family, for the entire family, and that's usually over at my aunt's house. And my Aunt Dee, actually, she was in that video. She had asked me if I would do a smoked turkey for the family Christmas party this year because everybody loved it. So I told her, yeah, I'll do one. I'll be glad to do one. That's what we got right here. And I didn't want to show the whole, process again. It's basically the same thing. What I did this time, I used a different brine, and this is a brine based off of one that I seen on YouTube on the Barbecue Pit Boys channel, one that they had shared, and it's got oranges in it. It's got oranges, fresh garlic, sugar, or let's see, brown sugar, salt, and apple cider vinegar, and then it's got some herbs in it like thyme, basil, oregano, yeah, some stuff like that, and mixed all that up and put it in that bucket, and I brined it for 2 days this time. And this morning I got out there and I smoked it. I started at 7 o'clock when I put the turkey on, and I smoke it for approximately 3 hours. And I don't do a heavy smoke either. I use a lump charcoal, and I start it with some charcoal briquettes to get it started in the basket, and just let it burn down using lump charcoal. And then I've got a little bit of pecan wood mixed in there with it, and then every now and then, once the wood kind of burns away and I don't see much smoke, I'll throw another chunk or two in there on the fire to get a little more smoke. So I don't really do a real heavy smoke, but it seems like it's just right. So after this time, when it cooked, it got up to about 155, 160 degrees. I put it in this pan right here, this aluminum pan, put the butter on it again, wrapped it up, and I let it cook for 1 more hour. And I checked it, and it was right at around 175 degrees on the top here. So I've been letting it rest for a good hour, and yeah, it's about 1 o'clock, and I need to leave here in about an hour. So this thing smells amazing. It really smells good. That brine that it soaked in, and then with the butter, whenever I pulled this foil up to test it, the temp, man, it just smelled amazing. And I'm sitting here smelling it now. I'm ready to take a bite out of this thing and try it. So I was just going to share this with you. Most of you guys that watch SNS enjoy the barbecue footage and the cooking stuff that I do, and it's just for fun, guys. I'm a total amateur at this. I'm not a pro at all. It's just for fun, and I just enjoy doing it, so why not? It's another little aspect of things outside of the machine shop that we do. All of us have things that we like to do outside of the shop. Man, it smells good. There it is. Let you take a peek at that. Man, it looks good. It's still steaming. So I want to take a little slice out of it, and let's give this puppy a try. There's a little closer shot. Let's see how it turned out. You see plenty of the juice and the butter at the bottom. What I'm going to do is end up breaking this entire thing apart and putting it in another pan and taking it over there, but let's cut her open and see what she looks like. Looking pretty good right there. So I'm going to have to try this. Excellent. Most excellent. This tastes good. Mm-hmm. So there it is. You can see how hot it still is, all the steam coming out of it. So I think we got another hit. Man, it's got an awesome flavor to it. Alright guys, well I just wanted to share this a little bit with you right here. You know, the turkey, I gotta say it turned out great. Awesome again. So I'm gonna take the handheld over there with me to the party, and maybe I'll get a couple shots of the family saying hello. And it's always gonna be we always have a nice big spread of food over there. You know, just, you know, it's our Christmas party, so there's a lot to eat and a lot going on. It's always a good time. So maybe we'll see you over there. All right, we're over here at my aunt's house, and we got the family here, and we just said grace, and we're getting ready to eat some dinner. Let's go check it out. Hey.
I'm gonna wait till it's live. Oh.
Say hello.
What up? Be jealous.
Don't tell everybody my name.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, scratch that one. Can you back it up and erase it?
That's okay. You done said it now.
Okay.
We're checking out the spread.
Yeah, mute that part out. Oh, Missy, you decided to be the first one? The chicken and dumplings are fabulous.
Mom made chicken and dumplings.
Open this.
Oh, I'm sorry, baby. Scoot over. Limited space. Gotta put some in there.
There's the A-bomb smoked turkey.
Yes. And Aunt Dee's hiding her some.
She says that that's pretty good. What'd you think about that when you tried it?
I think it's awesome. And you're all gonna be jealous when we eat it all.
You know A-bomb makes the best turkey.
Absolutely. No. My Adam baby.
I did. You got the new Beamer, huh? Uh-huh.
So when are you not drinking on correct?
Lisa, what do you got? What do you got
She
there?
made cupcakes.
Cupcakes and I made Christmas trees on top.
Oh, you can eat the Christmas trees too?
Yeah, it's all edible.
So you eat it all, man.
Very cool.
What's that candy? That's pretty neat.
What up, Rick?
What's going on there, John Adam? Everything going cool?
Everything's going good.
How's
man.
the A-bomb going?
Oh, it's doing great. They're checking you out.
Live now.
We're live.
You got anything you want to say?
Oh boy. Oh boy. Well, let's get
That's
that.
an awesome
Hey,
uncle right here.
thank you, my man.
Did I get it? Oh, I don't know.
This is Adam's favorite. And Aunt Dee always makes sure she has Adam's favorite.
This is her famous sweet potato casserole, which I have to have every holiday.
Exactly. With pecans.
It's got the pecan crust on it. It's awesome. There's Mom.
Hey.
Hey.
Whoa.
Look at you, not mom out. Go find your own.
And then there's the famous mac and cheese too, based off of Grandma's recipe.
I'll be the first to get it.
Kevin's getting his first scoop.
That's right.
Have you tried the ribs yet?
No,
That's the ribs that Christopher made, my cousin. See if they any good. What do you think? Pretty good? They all right? They all right?
Wish y'all were here because everything looks so good.
It's excellent. Yeah, I got the desserts. There's a lot of stuff over here. A lot. Lisa made the red velvet. All right, let's see who else is in here. There we got some presents for the gift exchange later. Say hello, James. Good, man. Merry Christmas. You want to be on YouTube?
I sure do.
Well, you're going to be on it now.
Wait, was it? Oh, hi. How's it going?
Say hey to YouTube. All right, we're going to get something to eat. There's a little shaft we got to work on here at work. We got to get the gear off of this one here. That's a shaft that I've got to machine. We got to replace it. And you can see bad seal fits right here. There's a lot of rust and corrosion on this. And this fit down here is really bad. And you can see some fittings right there. So it was requested that this one be replaced. That's what we're going to do. Now, one of the problems that we got is whenever we set this in our press to press the bearings and the gear off, we need to be able to grab the shaft and pull it out of the hole. We've got a hole in the floor, and the easiest way to do that is to have an eye bolt in the end of the shaft, which this one doesn't. It's just got the center in it. So you'd have a difficult time slinging it and choking on it to pull it out. That's a pretty big shaft in an awkward position down in a hole. So I'm just setting this thing up just to drill and tap the end for an eye bolt. We're probably going to use a 1-inch, so it'll be a 1-inch 8 thread that we'll put in there. All right, so that's what's going on right here. And I decided I'm going to go ahead and bring in one of my new chucks. Now this is one that I showed. This is that Rohm that was given to me. We got the new arbor on it, and I showed the arbor run out at home based off the centers. So I'm actually going to do a test here with it running to see what kind of run out we get. We'll try a couple different indicators so that you can see it. Alright, so we got a little jumpy spot somewhere. It looks like we're within, what, 2/1000ths? Alright, now before I stuck this in there, I checked the spindle bore with the test indicator too, and it was pretty jumpy, but I was getting 2/1000ths there also. It was kind of hard to tell what the exact run out was. So that's not too bad. We'll check it back here and see what we're running on the back side too. All right, reposition it so maybe it's a little bit easier to see. So we're on the spindle sleeve right now. Spindle sleeve. Looks like we're still getting about 2/1000ths. About 2/1000ths, maybe a little over that. So I think part of that run out that we're seeing is in the spindle itself. You know, this is an old machine. That spindle runs all the way through this to the back side right there. It's been well used, so maybe we've got a little bit of wear on the spindle itself. All right, we'll try one more. I'll see if I can get up in there on the actual arbor that we installed on the chuck. I had to switch over to the bigger Noga here to reach into this little spot. All right, we've got her set up, and I've got it on the very end of the Morse taper. So I'm still showing about that 2, maybe even 3 there, just jumping around. And I still feel that part of that is the spindle actually moving as it's rotating, especially when you see those little jumpy areas. That's definitely what it's looking like to me. All right, I'm gonna move it over to the Jacobs taper for just one last test, but I think we can all agree that the arbor itself is running pretty true anyway. All right, one last little check. We're on the Jacobs taper there, which goes up into the chuck. I think we're gonna get about the same reading right here, about 2 thousandths. I really hope the glare is not coming through on this video. I guess I'll find out later and see. Yeah, I'm getting the same thing. It looks like it on this one, +1, -1, and it's a little jumpy. And I feel confident that the Jacobs chuck is going to have the same, within the same run out right there. I think a lot of what we're seeing is the spindle itself. So I'm calling these arbors good, and I'm ready to get a hole drilled. So this will be the very first drilled hole with the new Rohm chuck. Just putting a pilot hole down through there, and then we'll drill it 7/8, which is be our tap size. And looks like it's running nice and true. The chuck body right here has a little run out, which is normal. Not the body itself, the sleeve over it. Here's our tap size, 7/8. I'm going to use the chuck instead of the taper shank. Looks like I didn't tighten it very good. It's got a nice smooth feel to it whenever you tighten it up. Let's see, I just might not have tightened it very much. If I can put a little more pressure on it. Yeah, we're doing good now. Plenty of smoke for AVE right there. Yeah, it ain't too bad there. Alright. So far, I'm liking the way this chuck feels on the tightening and loosening of the chuck key here. This is considerably smaller than a Jacobs chuck key, especially for the same size chuck, so it must be putting some pretty good torque on this. All right, we'll use the Greenfield 1" 8 tap. I'm going to use the chuck to start the tap in there a little ways, then I'll probably back it off and we'll finish it by hand using one of my big tap wrenches. This is what I think is pretty cool. I've never been able to do this before until now. I actually hold the bigger tap in a chuck. Let's see if I can get enough tightening on it. That's the only thing I'm not liking is on this chuck key is the Jacobs keys has that little pad there that you can push on with your thumb, and it makes it a little more comfortable. Not enough clamping pressure. Might not work. Now, and you're gonna want to hold it too good. Okay. I'll go ahead and back it out so I'm not spinning on it. And I'll just do it by hand. All right, I think we're at the end of the line here. All right, so there's a 1-inch eye bolt. That's what's going in the end of this thing. Just need something in there to hook a strap to and pick it up. So that's it. Looks like the threads on the eye bolt's a little loose. But anyway, that's what we had to do. So now we can go to the press with this and start getting this thing apart. Hope you enjoyed. There's the eye bolt that I just showed you that we put in the end of the shaft. So this one will go on one end. That one will go on the other end of the shaft. That's a 2.5-inch eye bolt. You can see the size difference right there. The 2.5, 4 is your thread size there. And the 2.5 is actually, that's the thread that's in the end of this shaft right here that has to be machined in a new one. So we picked up an eye bolt to be able to fit that thread whenever this thing is being handled for assembly and whatnot. I just thought that was pretty cool. You know, it's always fun getting to see the bigger stuff. But we got a new tool in the shop that we're going to try out right now for the first time. And that's this load cell, Optima load cell. And we've got everything hooked up. That's it right here. And we're going to pick up this gear in the shaft and find out what it weighs. So go ahead and get your guesses ready. See what you think. So in case you're curious, the straps here choked are rated for 4,400 pounds each. We've got everything ready to go. All right. I'm hoping you can see that without glare on it. All right, we're already at 2,000 pounds. It's just now starting to pick up the gear, and we're at 3,000 pounds. All right, there we are. We're off the ground. So I imagine this is going to be flickering on screen. So we're at just over 3,500 pounds. Right about 35, 40. So who guessed it right? All right.